attention, please. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to review our boarding process with you. When the automatic doors have opened, please proceed directly across the ramp into the cabin. Continue to move all the way across your aisle, filling in every available seat. For your safety, all passengers are required to wear safety restraints throughout the flight. To fasten the restraint, pull the strap out from the right side of the seat and snap it into the console on your left. Galactic regulations require that all carry-on items be safely stowed beneath your seat. While on board, flash photography is not permitted. And please, no smoking at any time. If you have any questions, feel free to ask an attendant. You'll be boarding in just a few moments. Thank you, and have a...
Star Tours announces the arrival of the Indoor Express. Once we've had a chance...
Hello, everyone. I'm getting an audio echo. Let's try that again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Star Wars edition of Inside Infinity, episode number 37, recorded, what day is today? April 7th, 2014. I am your Jedi Master for this evening's episode, and you can tell that by my awesome Yoda ears. And here with me tonight, I have a few friends that are on the, the Jedi Council. First up on the docket, Jedi Knight Stephen Krellin. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good. How is everybody out there? I'm glad to be part of the Inside Infinity show again. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Actually, I have a few words to say about that in a few moments, but before we get there, next up is Darth Pirate.
Good evening. Bill, I heard you got married last week.
I did get married. That is correct.
Welcome to the dark side, my friend. We'd love to have you aboard. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be aboard, sir. That has so many meanings as a Darth Pirate. You welcome aboard your spaceship and your pirate ship. You're just
Pirate Sith Lord. That's what they call me.
Can you fix your voice though? I liked it better the way it was earlier.
You like this better?
No, I don't. I lied to you.
You lied.
That's awesome. Well, welcome, Darth. We appreciate you showing up tonight. Last but not least, we have Jason Haynes, co-host of the Star Wars episode of Inside Infinity. But what's going on?
Hello, Will. Captain Haynes. That's my name. What are you talking about?
Okay, I have a few things to say about this.
I've brought some of my close friends, and we're just really ticked off that Disney hasn't made an offer for me and my crew.
So,
now, side note, in my younger days I played the Spock part, but I was going to be Spock today, but I realized that my haircut lends itself to the Picard side of Star Trek. So here I am today, people.
So that's what I was going to ask. Are you really that confused, or could you not find any how can I put this politely, characters in the Star Wars universe with as little hair as you?
Is that how you say that politely, Will?
No.
This is the true definition of a host, people. That was his version of being polite. Jeez.
I got the physique for it. The head, it just fit. So, we go. No, I tell a lie. I did want to bring some class to the show, and just as the great George Lucas really improved on his original trilogy, I'm introducing the Jar Jar character to the to the podcast. So, I know I know this is everyone's favorite character. So, there it is. Welcome to the show.
So in Australia, Jar Jar's everybody's favorite character from Star Wars?
Yeah, of course, yes. I thought Jar Jar was universally praised, and I thought the next 3 Disney films were all based on Jar Jar. We can only hope.
Oh my God. So, can I be the one guy in the group that says I've always dealt with this problem? I don't mind Jar Jar Binks, and I never really did. I always thought he was kind of okay, but I love this.
No.
Is it hey Council minus Krellin? Is it too late to kick Steve off? I don't
What,
feel
liking,
qualified.
liking Jar Jar gets me ejected from the council? I don't think I need to be on a part of this council then. You guys
No,
can't
it's all
embrace
right.
the diversity of Jar Jar, then I'm out.
I'll move to my wise mode. There you go. I'll be the wise Jason
There.
for the little part of the show. All right.
That's
There
just
you go.
creepy. I don't know what's going on with your lower half.
That's all right. But it's great to be on the show, everyone, and look forward to some really wise comments from me as usual.
Oh, that's great. You do provide us with. You are a mentor, and you do provide us with. I just want you to stay in that one spot for all of the show, though. Like,
Yeah,
I love having
absolutely.
you.
You can't move. You get in this perfect spot just like this, and you cannot move. Just
All right.
stay still.
No problem. 2
Yeah.
hours from now. No problem.
So Jason, I was wrong. My theory of the Star Trek, you did find a Star Wars character with your haircut.
I did. It's amazing that I haven't had the phone call for the next trilogy as yet, because I've clearly got the universal head shape for any character in a in a sci-fi universe.
Oh my gosh. Darth Pirate, you're making me awful nervous over there. You have not said a word to any of this.
It's Pirate Sith Lord.
Yeah, I think Jason shaved his head like that because he knows that this week's Disney Infinity Toy Box Challenge is the egg challenge, the egg hunt. So he was going in theme for his toy box review.
I'm still waiting for it.
Coming.
Bit me.
Hey guys, is there activity in the chat room? I'm not seeing anything, and
Yeah.
with all of this classic content,
There
I'm
is.
not missing a lot.
Did you not see that Papa Ewok is in tonight? Papa Ewok. This is the greatest chat room ever.
I did, but are people talking, or am I the last person to
They
say
were before, but now mine doesn't show anything either.
Okay, good. Well, as we just said, if you want to watch these awesome episodes every Monday night and see what sorts of outfits that Jason and Darth Sith Pirate can drum up, and I'm disappointed. I was expecting Steve C to have one of his mini hats. I didn't know if it was going to be Star Wars horse or the new Jedi
Star Wars,
helmet attire of the orange cone, but you can watch us live every Monday night inside DisneyInfinity.com, which is also where you can chat with us live and join in all of this amazing fun. We have lots of fun, don't we, guys?
I would say
most of the
moderate.
time.
I love that you can't see what kind of face I'm making at you under this.
I just assume it's an eyebrow.
Oh yeah, I'm doing an eyebrow move right now.
So one thing I actually did forget to mention is last week you may have noticed some oddities happening in the Inside Disney Infinity website, and unfortunately, Haunted Mansion Steve and Outside Infinity Steve were not able to make it tonight. They were served a cease and desist due to bringing down the quality of the Inside Infinity brand. So because of that, we're stuck with Sith Pirate and normal Steve C. And normal Steve, that's actually a compliment. Outside Infinity Steve is a jerk, and we don't like him. So.
You know what? I listened to the show because I listen to all of your shows, and anyone out there that's listening now should go back and listen to the old shows because they're really good. But I will say I disagree with you. I think that Outside Infinity Steve and Outside Infinity Steve, Haunted Mansion Steve, I think they did a pretty good job, and I don't see the argument. Do you see the Yoda's face? Yoda just saw me make a PG-rated comment, and his eyes got really big just now. No, I thought that it was a really good show. Well, what would your complaints have been to Outside Infinity Steve? Say he were here to hear them.
Well, my only complaint would have been is that the malicious conversation was targeted primarily at one member of the Inside Infinity show and not another member who frequents the show with me on a regular basis. And I don't know if that's because you're afraid of World War III happening with members of Australian government or representatives or what, but I did not appreciate all the flaming coming directly at me.
Now you're saying you like you're talking to me. This is not the same show. I want you to make sure that you understand we're separate people here.
Right.
But based on prior shows, just let me point out the fact that you've never said Phineas and Agent P ever in your life. You
Okay,
You always say Phineas and Ferb. You don't know the show. And just based on some of the other things I've noticed, you have no idea what Gravity Falls is, and I think you even spelled Disney wrong one time when you were writing it down. So I just want to point that I noticed that, and I mean, I'm your
no,
biggest
you didn't
fan.
notice that, but outside Steve did.
I personally noticed it, but I'm just telling you that since I noticed it, other people had to have noticed it too. And outside Infinity Steve is brilliant, so he's going to notice these things.
Well,
Look
I
at
guess
Yoda.
he
Yoda
some of your
agrees with-
advice.
Look what he did. Look, you see everybody what's going on? That's not a blender bottle anymore. He took my advice from the other guy's advice from the show, and he got rid of the blender bottle. Do you see this? Talk down, and it helps
Oh
your
my
show.
gosh.
And his bed is made. So, Will, I
Yeah,
would like you to thank Outside Infinity Steve and Steve, because now you're like really acting like a true professional today.
Nope, not gonna happen. Never.
Ridiculous.
Never. I'll go
Well,
down,
thanks for
down
letting
with
me
this.
on.
You're welcome. No, actually, in all sincerity, you guys did a great job, and we appreciate that. And we hope everyone out there listening enjoyed the little April Fool's prank we had, and I'm sure you all were worried. Hey, Jason, get off this pirate's back!
Off my back! Get off my back! I didn't think you guys would be a fan of the show because you had a thing against honey mustard. I thought that was going to be the main glitch.
Oh, yes.
I love honey mustard as much as the next guy, but I agree with Outside Steve licking it straight out of the carton. I don't know about that.
Yeah, but did you not see the zoom of his face? It was all over his lips, and he was like, he got like rabid with it. He was like, yeah, I love it. It's great on everything. Look at his face. He's the greatest.
Oh, that was great. No, but thank you guys for doing that. That was awesome. As a lot of you know, I was not able to be on last week or the week before because I was celebrating my wedding, and I was actually lucky enough. Yes, I was actually lucky enough to go to Disney World after my wedding to celebrate, and I got to meet a famous person there, and I just got to say to everyone listening, contrary to how bad Pirate's personality is on the show, he's actually a very pleasant person in real life.
Wait,
So-
hold on. He actually
just
wears
kidding.
the hat around the park?
No, it's so funny. So I got to tell the story. It's so funny. We called each other to like meet up, or we were texting each other, and he's like, "Okay, I'll meet you outside this ride." And I walk outside, and my wife is like, he's like, "So where is he?" And I was like, "I don't know. I've never seen him in real life." I'm like, "I'm just looking for someone in a pirate hat," and I'm looking around, and I couldn't actually find him because he wasn't wearing his pirate hat. I've never seen him without it.
Let me tell you, it's 91 degrees in Florida. Not pirate hat worthy.
Wait, what's the picture then? You weren't wearing the hat in the picture? Because the picture
Well, you gotta bring it around like in a bag or something in case you're walking around Disney World and some Inside Infinity or Outside Infinity fan recognizes you. You gotta put on a show.
So you brought it you brought it in a bag with you?
Oh yeah.
He did.
I am telling you, I like Will and Jason. I am your biggest freaking fan, Steve. You brought that around with you just to put on for a picture for the show.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I would never bring the cozy cone hat around because it sweats, it's awful, and the top light comes down and it's too big. You are a consummate professional, sir. You need your own
True.
show.
And you know what? Next time you come to Disney World, I'm expecting you to bring the chicken hat.
Oh my God, I can absolutely bring the chicken hat.
There you go.
That is an uncomfortable, sweaty hat to wear, though. Sorry, go ahead.
No, this is great. This is great. So one thing that surprised me about Pirate in real life, he's really freaking tall. So this is me just kind of bragging about our trip. So forgive me for that. But
Are you really?
Fun to see.
Is he really tall?
Yeah, look.
Pirate, how tall are you?
6'2".
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm tall.
I have Yoda on my back right now, so I'm a little slunched over.
That Yoda's a little heavy. But no, I got to show you my favorite. What's going on with Yoda's ears?
Sorry, I'll switch to my.
Oh, look at that. So I got to show you one of my two favorite pictures, though. So out of all the Disney theme parks and world, Steve, of course, knew where there was a pirate, and we did the pirate Steve gaze. I don't know if you can see that. Whoa, what's happening? It didn't like that. So we got eyebrows raised.
Pirate
Front of
Steve.
Captain Hook.
That's spectacular.
Oops, that's a random picture.
You can't do it. Well,
I can't
come
do it.
on. No way.
I tried. I was just trying to show off. But then the best picture of all is look how excited we are here. We founded Disney
Oh, you
Infinity.
did! Look at you guys.
Kiosk.
Oh my god.
See, we're always thinking about Disney Infinity. We're excited to see it. And look how we're like Anna, or she's in the background. Elsa's one of our favorite characters ever.
Yeah, and if you needed Woody or Mater, I mean, look how many Woody and Maters they have at Disney World. Crazy.
Seriously. Yeah,
You know,
I don't
the
see
look on your
anyone
face,
else.
that's a happier look than any picture that you took at your wedding. I'm just going to point that out right now.
Shh, she's in the next room. Don't tell
Right
her.
now? Is she really in the next room right now? Usually she's
Well, I
at
mean,
work.
Oh yeah, no. She's here, but she's ignoring us.
Can she come in?
I won't blame her. No,
Come
she's
on,
afraid of.
bring her
She's
in.
afraid of the internets.
Wow, I'm a little intimidated. Steve,
Talking to.
Pirate Steve's a big dude. 6'2"? I'm 6, and I always feel pretty confident. That's about you, right, Will? Look at you, Steve.
Yeah, I'm close. See, both of you
So
guys are taller than me. I feel like
We're all tall.
Jason's
That's the tall
too.
podcast. I'm 6'4".
What?
Are you, shut
have us
up.
all
You
beat.
are not. Are you really?
Yeah.
I want you to stand up right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
So
you're
just
right.
look for me when I'm at Disney World. Look for me above the crowd. You'll find me.
No
That's
way.
awesome.
You're not going to fit through many of the doors on the cruise ship, my friend. 6'4"?
Yeah, I hit my head a lot.
Oh, this is awesome.
The best part about this show so far is we haven't talked about Star Wars once.
Actually, the best part of the show, we haven't even
I am
talked
the Star
Infinity.
Wars. That's fine. Just look
Yeah.
at me, and there you go.
Hologram Jason is awesome.
Yeah.
As long as
Yeah,
he's here.
We've got the Death Star ready to take down the show at any moment.
The way things are going this episode, it might just.
You have the Death Star waiting to take the show down. Is Death Star AKA Will because Will's back? Is that what you're saying? Oh, what? I think that the other group needs to take control. I'm just kidding. I love you, Will.
No respect. Rude you are.
No, that looks really cool. I like all your pictures.
It was fun. It was really cool meeting Steve in person, Pirate in person.
Yeah, I have to tell all of our listeners out there that Will is a lot cooler in person than you might notice on the show. And the other thing is, you might not know this, but him and his new bride are the best selfie takers ever.
I was just going to say, there's an eerie number of selfies on your screen if you just showed it.
Seriously, I kept turning around. Where are they? They're taking selfies everywhere. Their pictures, are really cute. I'm glad they had a good time, and yeah, they're the selfie king and queen. Back to Star Wars. Let's go.
Thank you. All right, back on topic. Well, actually, we do have a little bit of news to discuss this week. Nothing too groundbreaking. Gosh, I don't know, guys. I still can't wait for that Disney Infinity 2 announcement. I feel like it's just around the corner. I'm hopeful it's just around the corner. But it's kind of cool that we're still getting some stuff here and there. I know you guys talked about last week, but Phineas and Agent P. See, I'm SMRT. I'm smart. I learned from Outside Infinity. Was released last week, and yeah, so that's cool. Also, Series 3 was released last week. But even more so than that, on April 6th, which was yesterday, the 9th Toys R Us exclusive power disc, the Chrome Damage Increaser, was released. And if you want, check out the show notes for that UPC code if you wanna go find that. And then next week, the long-awaited and long-requested Merlin's Summon, not Summer. He does enjoy the hot summer nights, but Merlin's Summer disc will be released this coming Sunday, April 13th, 2014. So that's cool. That's exciting. I know lots of people are looking forward, especially to that Merlin's Summon disc. Shut up, Steve. I don't even know why you're laughing right now. I'm not used to you smiling. It's freaking me out.
Summer made me think of Phineas and Ferb, and I got derailed. Sorry.
So and Gravity River, right? Isn't that the name of the show? Sweet. Next up, the other news items, and this kind of surprised.
Did you just say Gravity River?
I'm glad you're paying attention to the show.
That's a really
Welcome.
good line that just slipped in there really quickly. I like that. I want a shirt that says Gravity River.
I'll make one up for you, and it will be hand drawn like your Outside Infinity sign.
Hey, it was a pretty good sign, actually. Do you think what's his name could do a shirt for me that says what you just said, Gravity River? I would wear that around.
Sure. I have no idea what his name is.
Travis, the master of Photoshop logos. He could do it.
Oh, and thank you for saying that. Thank you, Travis from Vinomation Kingdom, for coming up with this awesome poster that he made for the show, tonight's show. So, Travis, you rock. Thank you. He was supposed to be on the show tonight. I don't know what happened. Hopefully everything is okay with him. Travis, we miss you. So the other news item tonight, or this week, it caught a lot of people by surprise, and that is... Steve, are you wearing that shirt?
You forgot some more news. We're going to talk about Target has the starter pack for $39.99 this week.
Yes.
So anybody that doesn't have it, or maybe their Xbox broke, definitely pick it up at the $39.99.
I had a long conversation with Pirate last week. Should I buy it for the PlayStation? But I don't know if I have the patience, and I have a lot of patience, but I don't know if I have the patience to create a toy box with all of you fine folks only using SMS on our phone. I feel like that would drive me nuts. No? Okay, whatever.
We're all nodding here.
I'm just looking for agreements. Moving on.
Okay. Target has the starter kit for $30-something. What was that, 37 or 39?
$39.99.
$39.99. That's actually a steal for anyone who either wants to switch platforms or may need to for specific reasons. All right, the other news item of the week, Glow Buzz was finally released, except it includes a caveat. It was or is an exclusive, only a digital exclusive on the apps. So you can buy the Glow Buzz and you can use them on the apps, but that's about it. There is no physical figure. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's kind of cool to at least see the figure, but it's disappointing at the same time.
I think he'll eventually be released. I think it's a timed exclusive. I think they want the money. They'll release it.
It's a brilliant. I'm kind of split. I kind of hope they don't release it, and the reason I say that is because, like Jason has talked about in lots of previous episodes, it means to me that maybe they aren't as afraid of DLC as we think they are. Why is that funny? I don't. Steve, see what's happening.
I knew this would happen.
I got no idea. Steve's.
I can't. I'm trying to rate it in, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be professional.
Okay.
No, I'm laughing at the fact that Jason has said what you just said like 9 times on this show before, and you just claimed it like it was your own thought.
No, I just said like Jason said.
Oh my god.
Oh, I hate you. No, I would only claim ideas that were on the outside show.
It's a phenomenal thought, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. What do you think about it, Jason? Do you like it?
That's a great idea. Yeah, totally. That's any time that they back down and they're going to go to be something purely digital, I'll take it.
Okay, Internet. I am currently looking for 3 new co-hosts for the show.
I'm freaking out, man. You're right. I'm done. I can't handle the stresses.
Papa Echo, or no, excuse me, Papa Ewok. Epic name in the chat room is saying, I'm using him now. He looks nifty, but he would also love a physical figure. So, yeah, I think we can all agree with you on that. Oh, you guys, I can definitely tell we're kind of kicking off the rust a little bit.
Well, he has a good point. I like the idea of and Disney should like it too. If they're releasing it for an app only, like a buy thing, then it's going to get people that are really eager and that want to play with them right away. And then when you release it as a toy in the store later, those same people may want to buy it again just to keep it in the store. There's going to be some overlap. So I think it's not a bad idea to get the hype up and about a new character and then release it in the store later. Give it a 2 or 3 month gap, and then I think that people will really dig it. And I think that they'll get sort of double purchases. You know what I'm saying? If you offer it once online earlier, I think you're going to get some of those people buying it twice. And I mean, they're not going to complain about doing that. So.
Totally. I actually kind of wondered if it was somewhat of a promotion tool for the app, because there's things in the app that they can kind of double dip in, especially with the power disk. Because even if you own all of the power disk, you have to pay for the power disk in the app if you want to use them. So I'm like, well, maybe this is them trying to encourage people to spend a little money in the app. Yeah. So who knows though? We'll see. Fingers crossed it comes out physically, because that is one unique character that I would like to see as a variant.
I agree. I like that idea. Hey, what does hologram Jason think?
No, I agree. Although if I want a glow figure, I want the Hitchhiking Ghost glow figures.
Obviously.
That's a whole other topic. Yeah.
See, I think you're actually doing the Hitchhiking Ghost effect that you are trying to pass off as a hologram in Star Wars.
Nice. I'll archive this one for the Haunted Mansion show that we will never do. So
never do, next October.
That's right. It's already on the books.
Good. I'll retire the hat box and become. You should all just get green screens, and then we can all be the Hitchhiking Ghosts.
Do you know how great that would be?
I am now a married man, which means I get enough crap from my Tower O Infinity back here. Do you think I can really pull off a green screen? Plus, if I did that, my ears wouldn't show up. So.
True. These are the tough issues of life.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for the news this week. Let's move on a little bit to something that we also do every episode. Toy Box Top 5 Challenge winners of the week. Jason, as always, you got to review these top 5 toy boxes, and what'd you think? It was an awesome week this week with the Tron-inspired challenge.
It was good. My favorite was the last one. It's not on this. Look, was it D-Rod's Race? No. Escape the Grid. Crazy by Nick, I think, was the winner, correct? That was really good. Classic telling of the story, I feel. And the other ones were great racetracks. But go check out the video. It should be on the site now. Wait till after the podcast. But yeah, Crazy by Nick's was by far my favourite this week. They all looked kind of samey because the Tron's such an easy one to style. Everyone's only going to use the Tron, discs. So wasn't much variance in actual look this week, but the gameplay was varied enough. It was a decent week. Looking forward to next week though.
Yeah, I must admit, this is the first week I did not play any. Did you guys get to play these? I'm really excited because I've been looking forward to a Tron challenge for a long time. Pirate, you tend to play the winners. Did you have a chance?
Like Jason said, Crazy by Nick is very talented at telling stories through the toy box. This is you unless you're silly like me and keeping stats. This is Crazy by Nick's 8th featured toy box. So he's right behind Papa Echo at 10.
Wow.
So those are the top 2 toy box artists in the business, as we like to say. Yeah, they make pretty good boxes, pretty outstanding. So it was great to see what he was able to come with. It reminded me very so much like the Tron Legacy movie, and it makes me want that Olivia Wilde figure even more now.
Yep, I will second that.
And I have to also give props to Finn Warrior's toy box. The disc duel is very nicely themed as well. It's very enjoyable.
Awesome.
And the rest of them, the racetracks. Racetracks are a lot of fun and really they were really detailed. So good job, everybody.
My thought on racetracks is it's an easy thing to do, at least from a concept standpoint. So anytime there's a racetrack winner, I kind of automatically give them props because that means they did
Thought
really
outside
well.
the box, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that. Cool. Pirate, what's I'm sorry, I really meant that, Steve. I know it sounded sarcastic.
Sorry, geez, sorry, man. Didn't mean to voice my opinion. I'll keep it. I'll rate it in.
I'm sorry, I really meant that. Pirate, what is the challenge for next week?
The next announced toy boxes is the Princess Challenge, which I'm sure is going to be very popular with a lot of princessy toy boxes. I can't wait to see. I'm really hoping for some abstract princesses, maybe some Mulan or Merida. So we'll see what kind of outside the box thinking that our toy box artists come up with.
Awesome. And princesses has been something that has been it's been a topic of conversation for a long time with Infinity, so I'm glad they're doing this specific challenge.
Do you guys think
Especially
they've
now.
done? Do you guys think they've done a pretty ample job of including princesses into what we have so far? I think by putting Anna, Elsa, and Rapunzel in, I think there's a pretty good selection. And knowing that there'll be another one coming later, there's got to be more in there. They're not going to blow it all, right? It's pretty not too bad, right?
No, I think it's a great first go around. I think that what it has done, what the Infinity game has done, is really opened up the possibilities of what's to come. And I mean, the princess catalog is so large. I can't wait to see some of the other princesses we're gonna get. On my trip, I watched Princess and the Frog. I'd love a Princess Tiana princess. I would love a lot of the old school Snow White, Sleeping Beauty princesses, and I could really see those coming because classics is something we're really missing from the game right now. And so anything classic, it doesn't really get any more classic than a Snow White figure. So, what do you guys think?
Do you consider Who's My Girl, Alice? She's not a princess, but she's that classic female sort of thing. If you're talking princess, I like I like Snow White because I think that she's one of the most beautifully drawn characters that Disney has. I love the lines and everything like that. I think she's great. So that's who I would like.
If we're talking Snow White, I would love to see her throw apples, maybe.
Oh my, that'd be great.
Weapon. Get a little throwback to the movie there.
Well, and let's be honest, if we get a Snow White figure, we have to get 7 other figures too, which would be awesome.
And it would
I
be
think we should talk about Star Wars, personally.
How does Princess Leia sound, Jason? Jerk. Is that a good
perfect
princess
transition. Well, I just want to do my princess show. Why haven't we had to organise a princess show, for crying out loud? Let's hook that in.
Books.
Right before Marvel.
Okay. All right, you folks, you heard it here. We're gonna have a princess show.
Yeah, we're doing
like
a princess show. Should everyone dress up as their favourite princess?
Yeah.
Now I think Will's wife's going to host that show.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Perfect.
We
Yep.
we just.
What
I think
was that,
so.
Will?
I like it. I like it. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't want her to come on the show because no one will ever invite me back again. Everyone will want her to host. So cool. Yes, I would absolutely. Latin Soul in the chat room. I would love. He said he would like a Tiana figure and also a Toy Box Land or Sky Disc. I would love. And Pirate, you would probably like this. A New Orleans themed, like an old school New Orleans themed toy box. Anything. Sky Dome.
The power disc would be great. I mean, I would love to have some jazz music and balconies.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop the show format because Steve C and Pirate have been dying laughing, and I know what they're doing. They're having a little side conversation via chat or via text message, and I'm not an idiot.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's why
I
you
don't know.
Oh, you guys.
Every time my
Star
phone...
Wars. I think Star Wars would be great for Infinity. What do you guys think?
It
Is
would
this
be
a
great.
Star Wars show?
Let's talk Star Wars. We're done with all this other madness, and I'm not even gonna hand over the show to Steve C or Pirate anymore. Jason, it's just you and me now. So we got some mail. We asked. Are you crying right now?
A little bit.
So we asked last episode, 2 episodes ago, we asked to send in your Star Wars ideas. So the first thing we're going to do is start with the mailbag. So Luke wrote in, and he has written into the show before. So Luke, thank you for writing in this time and giving us your thoughts on Star Wars. So he says, so what I would like to see you Star Wars part of Disney Infinity is not an entirely new game, but a Star Wars playset. He would like that playset to feature Han Solo and Lando Calrissian. I really think that's an awesome idea. I would also like either Darth Vader or the Emperor to be a standalone figure. I would also like Disney not to use Star Wars Rebels right away, and for those that don't know, Star Wars Rebel is the new animated series that hasn't come out yet. I don't think it's been released yet. Will be soon. Because when the next Infinity comes out, it will be brand new and not many people will know much about the characters. It won't have the same love the classic trilogy has. He also hopes Disney uses vehicles like the Millennium Falcon, X-Wing, and the TIE Interceptor. All right, show. What do you guys think of a playset, a standalone, or not an entirely new game, but a standalone playset? Let's have that conversation first because that's what we that's actually been a topic we've discussed frequently. What do you guys think? Standalone or a playset?
I would think a playset. Do we want to? I mean, are we going to have individual ones for each episode, or?
That's a great question. So let's say each one is its own episode, but we have to remember traditionally, and it doesn't mean it has to go this route, but traditionally, the stories that have been told in the playsets are original stories and kind of the universe, and it's not like official canon or anything like that. So, is Star Wars, if it follows the episodes, is it going to be a retelling of the episodes, or is it going to be kind of taking place within that larger episode story and a little more on original?
Yeah,
I don't think you want retellings, do you? Because the Lego games did that.
Yeah.
And weren't they wildly popular though? To play devil's advocate.
Why copy someone else? I think because the Disney Infinity stuff doesn't follow these stories exactly. I just think you want side stories, side game based in that time and location of whatever the films are. I think that's probably the best maneuver.
Yeah, I would say do a playset, and I would make Han Solo one of the figures and Princess Leia the other, because I like the idea that Disney Infinity has been doing with having to make it a little bit more diverse with a male figure and a female figure. So I think those two would make sense. Another reason I didn't say Luke Skywalker was because I want them to have a Father's Day pack with Luke and Darth Vader. That would be a Toys R Us exclusive. It would be funny. But, yeah, all those characters. I would definitely start classic characters and then bring some more of the newer people in.
What do you think, Steve?
I personally, I would like a Chewbacca character. I think that he'd look great on there. But if you're talking just a play set, this was my excuse me, my issue a while ago. A play set is extraordinarily limited. I think that the right way to do this thing would be to do Disney Infinity Star Wars World and have there be, how many are on the original Infinity? There's 3, right? MU, Incredibles,
Pirates.
and Pirates. 3 different realms, and it doesn't have to be episodes 1, 2, and 3. It could be one from each of them. You could have sort of an Iceland Hoth kind of thing going on. Then you could have one that's a pod racer, sort of one in that sort of realm on Tatooine. Then you could throw in something that hasn't been seen yet before, but something where the characters are in their own world, because, like I said before, Star Wars is such a massive, massive world. Limiting it to one playset cheapens it, I think. And I don't think that something this big deserves such a small thing. I think it deserves its whole thing. Its own pad, characters, little plastic, disc. I think it is the only title out there that deserves something that big. That could support it too.
I like where you're going with that. The only thing I would change in that idea is it to be a piece like this, like the starter set piece, which works on the whatever the new Infinity base would be. So that way, maybe you could spend $60 on it instead of 75, and you get the content of a starter pack without having to pay for of the hardware of a new stand, and then also a new physical disc. That would be my preference.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying. I didn't mean the whole new thing because you want it to fit on an existing one. What you just said is perfect.
Okay.
Yep, I like that.
Yeah, I dig that. I love that idea, and I think that you actually just brought up another really cool idea to keep it within the canon of the Star Wars universe while not necessarily having to follow an episodic story, is because the locales and the movies are just, they're so iconic. And I mean, I would give anything to have an Infinity Hoth snowspeeder section.
Yep. And I would like to have a Tatooine pod racer section.
So all right, so let's go with that. Tatooine pod racer, snowspeeder Hoth, and I think that it's not just predominantly, it's not like it's a Cars playset. It's like that's just an aspect of it, but there's also the third person of running around with stuff. What would be the third? What do you guys think? What would be the third one?
Probably from the new movie that's coming out. They'll probably want to get some synergy going there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, especially if maybe if Star Wars is not in the second Infinity, maybe it's in the third Infinity. That's Episode 7 comes out, I believe, in December of 2015. So I would think that would be the hot Christmas item. Because I mean, you got to think about people have been playing with their Star Wars figures since 1979, and those same people are still playing with them, and their kids are playing with them, and their grandkids are playing with them. So it'd be their dream to take this little plastic figurine they've been playing with for years, and I say plastic figurine lightly because I'm sure some of them are their friends, but to be able to bring them and put them in the game and play with them and get more because some of them they might not want to take them out of the package, but you put them in there and they get to play with their Star Wars collection. I think people would love that. Have like Hoth terrain disc, Endor terrain disc, whatever planet they want their Star Wars figures to inhabit, they can do that. I mean, think of the toy box challenges that people could come up with every week. It'd be great, and I'm all for that.
And think about how hot the figures are going to sell. They're going to be a big item because even the people that don't play Infinity, they collect those things, are going to collect all those characters. It's going to be much more difficult to find them on the shelves.
I would be willing to guess that Star Wars collectors, there'd be a lot more Star Wars collectors buying Star Wars Infinity figures as there currently are Disney collectors buying Disney. And I don't mean as a whole, but...
I think that raises the point that that I want to discuss is like, what do we think they should look like? If it was going to be its own platform, let's assume, it's not going to be the case, but let's say they decided we're just going to do Infinity Star Wars, and it's completely not going to be compatible with the old Disney Infinity. Let's just say that as a hypothetical. What do you think the actual... Because wouldn't you want to skew a little bit older, you think, than what they're currently targeting with the current Disney Infinity figures? Because I know there's those I think they're called Galaxy figures. They're sort of super deformed little figures with the large heads, and they're sort of, micro type action figures. I'm not sure who put those out. I think it's a Hasbro thing, or something like that. But I think it'd be pretty cool if they did a version of Infinity that was actually the original Star Wars figures. They look like the original toys. If you know what I mean, keeping the same toy theme, but you're actually buying the Infinity figures and they're like recreations of the original Star Wars toys and play sets, but then come into your game. Or do you think it'd be better to stick with that cutesy toy look, or skew older, maybe something a bit more just, photorealistic's not the word, but you know what I mean, a more adult looking action figure that a hardcore Star Wars fan would be proud to display on their shelf.
I think you're going to get a hybrid, because if you look at the show Clone Wars and all that stuff, you have the cartoony sort of kid version, right? Well, you look at Infinity characters, and they don't look just like they do in the movie. They're more angular, they're more Infinity style. I think that what you're going to see is a hybrid of the two if this were to happen. It's got to appeal and look Infinity. That's their whole thing, is it has to look Infinity, yet if you make it look like a baby toy, no one's going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
When I play with Sully or Mr. Incredible, they don't look just like they do in the movie, but they look spectacular. So I think that they're going to do it in a way that does it justice and makes it feel right. But it's got to be some sort of a mixture. It can't be so perfect of the movie, or else literally you're just going to have your old character G.I. Joe kind of characters on a platform. But it can't be too babyish, because then it's going to look like the show on Disney Channel. You're going to need something in between.
I agree. It's a hard line to ride.
It is.
Yeah. Well, and I think that even if it is a completely separate product, but still billed as an Infinity product, you have to maintain that at least somewhat similar aesthetic.
Well,
I just personally hope. I don't want to see that. I mean, I'm not against the new Star Wars cartoon type look, but I just hope that they don't go fully that way. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, I think part of the what people love about Infinity is that you can mix all these different franchises. So I think it's going to be really cool. I think it would have to have some kind of compatibility with the old system, so that you can have Donald fighting with Han Solo, and Jedi Mickey with Yoda. I think people are going to love to put those two franchises together and mesh them up.
Yeah, I think that is already items that are being sold in the park, and I think, I mean, if you take a look at Mickey here, if I can bring it up, there's Jedi Mickey, and he works great, and I would see him being an awesome figure that would lend itself well to the aesthetics of Disney Infinity.
Well, yeah, I would love to see Darth Maul Donald. or they have a like the double bladed sword. I mean, that would make a great power disc.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, and you're bringing up a good point too. Putz 2000 in the chat room is saying Disney is trying to bring classic Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel much more together in the parks. He says he can't imagine they won't try to mash them up in Infinity, and that's a perfect example of mashing up Star Wars and Infinity. And I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to see only Disney characters as Star Wars personas. Like, I don't want to see just Jedi Mickey or Darth Maul Donald, but it would be cool if those were maybe additional characters that you could buy for the Star Wars playsets.
Yeah, for the people that don't like exclusive characters, they're going to really hate when they have the Comic-Cons or the Star Wars Expos, and when those inevitable exclusive convention-only figures come out for Star Wars and probably Marvel as well.
Yeah. The one character that I'm surprised no one's brought up yet, and it's one I'm actually would be more interested in their pack power than anything, but that would be Boba Fett. I'd love to see a Boba Fett power with his jetpack and his rocket wrist shooter thing, whatever you call that.
That could even be a power disc, and they can already use the technology from or copy what they did for the Wall-E fire extinguisher power disc, or even the Toy Story
jump pack.
Jetpack, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to see any of the Fets or any of the bounty hunters. I was saying before, a bounty hunter triple pack would be pretty cool. Boba Fett, his dad, Jango Fett, and any other bounty hunter you throw in there, Cad Bane or Aura Singh would be nice. Or I'm just gonna say it, villain pack. You could do a Darth pack. It'd be Darth Maul and Darth Sidious and Darth Vader. I think Darth Vader at one point was named the biggest villain of all time. So he'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a Kuzco pack would be great. Sorry, wrong show.
I almost think Darth Vader should be a standalone because he would be so popular.
Oh, he would have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any question that that would be like the one standalone character? He's the only one in the world that looks like that. As unique as Boba Fett looks, I mean, we saw it earlier. We saw a pirate version of it. He is the most unique and standalone version ever. He needs to be a character. I mean, that's a fact. It has to be.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
My favorite character by far is Wicket. Wicket the Ewok. That's all I want.
And I want Jar Jar, so we're fine.
So as long as it's Wicket the Ewok and Jar Jar and the Star Wars Infinity.
Can you imagine walking down the aisles of Toys R Us and there just being a million Jar Jars that no one's ever bought?
Even like the diehard collectors would be like, nope, this is where I draw the line.
I'm good. Yep, thank you.
All right, so if you had to pick one figure from the Star Wars universe, who would you pick? I think we just said our names, but I don't know if we were serious or not.
Oh, I was deadly serious. I love Wicket. Absolutely.
Okay, that's Jason's vote, Wicket.
It's my favorite Star Wars film because of the Ewoks. Jedi, Return of the Jedi. That's hands down the best thing they've ever produced.
Did you know Wicket was the Leprechaun in the Leprechaun movies?
I certainly did.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite role he did. But yeah, okay, so we got Wicket. What you got, Steve C?
Okay, I've got an obscure one because I always like this one, and I know people hate this film, but I actually sort of like it. But I think that Sebulba would be a really good character. He has those big, long arms. Doesn't he have two big arms? And he would kind of run kind of cool, and he's mean, and he's kind of a cool-looking character. I'm going off the track of the normal ones. I could easily have said C-3PO or Han Solo, but I kind of like Sebulba, and I liked him as a character. He was really bad, and his pod racer was sweet, so I like Sebulba.
Will, do you want to go, or I can go?
I'll go. Mine would be Emo Anakin.
What did you just say?
emo Anakin, because that way everyone when you're playing your Star Wars Super Smash Brothers, Steve, everyone could, whoever you don't like, whoever is the last to get picked for the dodgeball team gets Emo Anakin, and everyone beats up on him.
Oh, that's so sad.
I feel so sad for him.
No.
I'm going to say I would like to have General Grievous. I think it'd be cool to have General Grievous, like I could throw down my Dumbo power disc and have General Grievous flying around in Dumbo, or even the pirate Captain Hook's ship or something, and just having him have a joyride. I think General Grievous would be a cool, laid-back Infinity character.
I like that. Hey, can I change mine? I don't feel like that was a good.
You can't say General Grievous though.
No, well, okay.
I
I don't want
just said it.
to. No, mine would be young Obi-Wan. Like, I think that would be fun because he's still kind of
the Ewan McGregor version.
The Ewan McGregor version. Yep.
Yep, I like that.
So.
His character in the cartoon looks really cool too. He's my favorite looking in that show.
In the Rebels or in the Clone Wars?
The Rebels. The Rebels.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't know. Is he much different besides the beard length and stuff?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen the one really popular picture of him, and I kind of dig how he looks. They did a good job, I think.
Yeah, not that I'm encouraging this idea, but Putz in our chat room has said
what did Putz say?
You can have a different power disc for all the different color lightsabers. So I mean, like you can have the purple Mace Windu and red for Darth Vader. I mean, think about the complete set of lightsaber power discs exclusive pack that Target could have.
Oh.
Where you can get every lightsaber color there was, and or whatever character each one goes to. I think that'd be cool. It'd be a lot of money.
If it's labeled, sure. If it's blind pack, no. I would. You know what? Because you would get like, what's a random what's a random lightsaber color that no one likes?
Yellow.
Yeah, I was actually thinking yellow. So you would get like 15 yellows for
you would.
every one other.
Just
good
try
one.
to get the blue or the red. You'd be getting a hell of a lot of yellows. That's exactly how it would be.
Yep, that's actually an interesting idea though, and that's a kind of a unique take on the power disc. It's a modifier to power disc, and not as modifying of ability, but modifying existing assets.
Yeah, and in Star Wars has a library full of different ride vehicles they could come out with that could be power disc. So they could really, I mean, it's a cash cow money maker whenever they want to throw it at us. I know all of us will be broke, and there's a lot of us out there.
Do you think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're up. Go ahead.
Well, do you think that they would ever do, like your shirt, and in the parks, it's such a big deal. Do you think that if they had this, they would ever do other Disney character crossovers? Would you ever see the Darth Vader Goofy, or most importantly, the one on the logo? Steve, show it up, baby. You got the Jedi Mickey. Like, do you think that they would do that? I'm serious. No, do you think that they would come out with one like that, like a Jedi Mickey? They have Sorcerer Mickey now. If they did that, do you think they would, or do you think if it's Star Wars, they're going to keep it legit and keep it Star Wars the whole time? Oh, he just left.
I think it's a way to. I think it's definitely an opportunity to combine the two. Yeah, I think I could see that happening for sure.
I would like to see one. I would like to see, even if it's like I said before, if it was Mickey in every version, I would like to see one of them in each one.
I don't know if you can see this, but I bought this in the parks a couple years back. This is a figure set that included a Jedi Mickey and a Yoda. I mean, this is almost the size that there would probably be in Infinity.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what I'm talking about. I think that a Jedi Mickey or something in each one would be awesome. Exactly what he's showing is what I had in mind.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
It'd be a good way to test the waters too, see how far. I mean, they just released a Jedi Mickey, and they can do Goofy, Darth Vader, like Donald.
Donald, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I love in the park seeing Leia Mini. She's awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome too.
Yeah, and Disneyland doesn't have, but Disney World has Star Wars weekends, so they could incorporate Disney Infinity into Star Wars weekends as well.
Built-in marketing machine right there. You're
and,
right.
This summer there's gonna be a Phineas and Ferb Star Wars crossover episode. So
Right.
This summer there's going to be one?
Yeah. So that's another
phenomenal.
crossover they can do into Disney Infinity, since they already have the Phineas and Ferb stuff going on.
Hey, Will, are you
Yes, sir.
listening? Will, I'm going to challenge you right now as a host of this show, and Steve just said it a really good way. If you need to see one episode of Phineas and Ferb, you need to watch the Marvel one. The crossover that they did with Phineas and Ferb is hysterical. You laugh the entire time. So however you need to find it, I would tell you to go look it up and watch it. I promise you'll like it. It's a riot. They know what they're doing.
I will do that before next show. I make
No,
you
you
that
won't.
promise.
No, you won't.
I will. It's on Netflix.
I'm gonna gift it to you on iTunes or whatever we need to do. You need to watch it though.
Deal.
You too, Jason. I'm not leaving you and your hologram head out of this. You need to watch it as well.
No problems.
So who put here? So there's a few. Before we start talking more vehicles, there's a few figures ideas people have come up with, and I don't know who did it, but I absolutely love the Dead Jedi Ghost crystal pack.
That's one of mine. That's one of mine. I think that's a great idea.
I think it is too. And then I also love this idea, and I can't believe none of us have talked about it. I mean, you kind of mentioned it, Steve, C, in the form of C-3PO, but a droid pack would be awesome.
It would be great.
And here's the thing, though. It's not just the normal droids that you're thinking of, but you would have to include Rex in that.
Yeah, you can't just do the normal ones. You got to sort of do it right. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, the dead Jedi Ghost figures would go well with a Haunted Mansion playset or a Haunted Mansion toy box. I think those would be fun to play around in there. They match.
Hey, Pirate, This isn't the Outside Infinity show.
Oh,
I thought you were Pirate Steven, not Han Mansion Steven.
Do you think if they release a like, because if the rumors are correct, they're saying that Star Wars and Marvel are going to be in the new Infinity. So you're reading that it sounds like it might be just a playset or something. Do you think that hurts the brand rather than just waiting for a full-on,
Yes.
exclusive Star Wars thing? I can't agree with Steve. See, I think that would hurt them. I think they need.
Huge.
There's too many characters. Too many characters.
You will dilute a flawless brand in Marvel and Star Wars. Let's break it down for real quick. There are 3 massive brands that you can really label and have unique characters in each. You have DC, you have Marvel, and you have Star Wars. Everything else is a subcategory, and that's a fact. Disney's got 2 of them. Putting them together in one dilutes almost all of the appeal to it. You're going to get 50% of the characters. You're going to get 50% of the textures. You're going to get all of the stuff that you didn't really want. Star Wars people aren't going to be as excited about getting a Marvel pack, and Marvel people aren't going to be that excited about doing it. I don't know why you can't just do 2. I don't get it. Marvel is continually going. Every, 9 months or a year, there's another Marvel film being made and out there. It's constantly there. They're going to do the same thing with Star Wars. Blending them together, I think, is a horrible, horrible marketing move. You're going to dilute a market of buyers that are interested in each one, but also just as far as the quality goes, you're going to lose people because, like we said before, are you going to really be that excited about going from playing Star Wars to over and playing Marvel? Sure, but wouldn't you like to have both in their own realm? I just think that it's a no-brainer.
I agree with you, but I also could go the other way as well because let's say, because it's another $75, they don't want to make people spend $75 times 3 every year that they're going to be releasing these because it's supposed to be a big platform. And I think that they're also, so somebody that is really into Star Wars might see this game and start buying Disney and Marvel, and or vice versa. Maybe somebody that doesn't have an interest in Star Wars at all might be buying all the Marvel things, but I want a Sully or I want a Luke Skywalker. I think that'd be cool. So it could go both ways. I know they don't want some purists don't want to mix it, but it's all about selling these toys. And
and I don't care about the mixing. I just think it's about marketing it as. I think I agree. It should be all one big platform, but it should be marketed as if to say this is the Star Wars. What's the word? There's got to be a word for it. This is the Star Wars branch of the Disney Infinity platform.
Absolutely.
This is the Marvel branch, but they all can be mixed together. It's just to communicate to the buyer to say this is the first play set, but there'll be many, many more, and we're going to continue to expand in the Star Wars universe of the Disney Infinity platform while we're also simultaneously doing Marvel and the other Disney franchises.
Absolutely, and not to take over, Will, you talk about that game Titanfall a lot, right? I've seen you talk about it right there. I was just in Best Buy today. That's a $60 game, and that's just a disc. Most new releases are $60, right?
Yep.
So if you're saying that 75 is too high, they don't necessarily have to make it that 75. Say they keep the platform and the whole base the same, and when you get the new one, you get the plastic disc like you were holding up earlier, and then 2 new characters or whatever, 3. You can drop that price down and at least match what a regular video game would cost. I mean, really, you don't have to make it $75. You can make it 60 and still be marketable because every other video game that comes out is still $60.
I think if they do it, I think, Steve C., that is the perfect strategy for that. Video game consumers are so used to spending $60 as it is. With 3 play sets, you get the content of a single-player video game experience that people are used to. And that's just discussing the playset side of things, which can be considered a single-player experience. So if let's just say we average the playset, the starter pack playset, to 12 to 15 hours. I'm not making a comment on whether that's true or not, but let's just say that. Last of Us was about a 12-hour game, which was arguably one of the most popular games last year, and it was primarily a single-player experience. That's a $60 game. So I think if they do this, Steve, you hit the nail on the head. That kind of bridges that gap between the $35 for a new playset, which is a single playset, and then the $75 of a new starter pack. My only, just to play devil's advocate, I'm not on either side of this fence. I think
You've
this
got the
is
horns for it.
been I'm green with envy. My only comment on a playset versus a 3-pack or a starter pack with 3 playsets included is that Star Wars and Marvel was immediately one of the most popular requested items for Disney Infinity. I think we are going to be lucky if we get Disney Infinity 2, whatever that is, a year after Disney Infinity 1. I don't think Avalanche, in their current state, has the bandwidth to create a brand new game with presumably a brand new starter pack with all of these play sets, and then another starter pack of Star Wars only figures or Marvel only figures. If they're just singular play sets, that's things that they can add in their current timeline. But I think a playset or a starter pack is something that is much more time intensive because you're looking at essentially 3 playsets. And that's just a thought. I'm not saying that they can or couldn't, but that could be a potential roadblock.
Yeah, and you're actually thinking about more than just that too. That's the most time-consuming part for sure is the infrastructure of building the actual game. But when you do that, you're thinking of a lot more than that too. You're thinking about the support system for those games, the online support for them, all of the different things that they have. You're talking that's it. There will be no DI2. This year will be Star Wars Infinity. You can't ask them to do both. That's unreasonable. You don't get Titanfall 2 and 3 at the same time. There's a reason why they come out separated and why Grand Theft Auto takes so long for sequels, because they have to rebuild the whole thing from brand new. You can't do both at once. So you're right. You have to pick and choose, and you can't be greedy. You got to go with one or the other. So it would be a big gamble. It really would. If you were going to say in 2014 we're going to release a Star Wars Infinity, and that means no princesses, no more of those characters you've been asked about. This year it's all Star Wars stuff. You're going to get a massive amount of people that like it, but you're also going to get a massive amount of people that won't see the generality of it. So you can't really have both, and I see that.
Yeah.
I think the key to all of this is the fact that it's all about because Star Wars fans can already get as much Star Wars toys as they want. The only thing Infinity is going to offer them that they can't get from just buying other Star Wars toys or video games is the toy box. And so if the community stuff is up to scratch in DI2, that's what's going to make all the difference. I have personally made 3 Star Trek fan films, and I think I've made 2 Star Wars fan films, which no one will ever see. But I have made them. They do exist.
No one will ever see it until the next
yet.
Yeah.
I even made my own commemorative gold trading cards from one of my latest Star Trek
You're
films.
such a nerd.
Did all 3 of us now just say the exact same thing at the same time? I think we did. All 3 of us at the same thing. Yeah.
I'm trying
next
to
time.
get the name so I can YouTube it, but
Yeah.
You might find it on YouTube, but I won't. Anyway, my point is that if you could provide a platform where Star Wars fans can make Star Wars games in the toy box, that's what makes the difference, and that's why you can't release just one playset where, you can place I can't think of what, but you can place a Star Wars themed tree, and you can replace the sky with a star field, and here's a distant Death Star in the background. That's not going to be enough to create compelling Star Wars game content, which will create that Minecraft, fury, and then all the Star Wars fan will be jumping over themselves to make fan fiction games in the Star Wars universe using the Star Wars characters or Disney characters. Doesn't matter. So I think that's where the Infinity platform can stand on its own and not just be another inanimate Star Wars toy, Star Wars action figure.
And behind that now you've got the fact that Disney owns it, and Disney typically doesn't skimp on things that they know they need to invest in. So when it's something like this, I think you nailed it, Jason. I think you're 100% right.
And Star Wars is about story for years. There's been comics and novels, and obviously they're movies in the first place. So I think if they can nail a storytelling mechanic in a Star Wars universe, Star Wars people are going to want it because someone's going to create this phenomenal Star Wars story that feels like a movie on its own that everyone's going to want to play if you're a diehard Star Wars fan. And I'm not that big a Star Wars fan, even though I made 3 films.
Jason, did you happen to work on the Star Trek film in 1995?
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, we'll talk after the show.
All right.
I specifically didn't mention a Death Star playset because I would much rather see a trench run created by the community than created by the devs, because I think that they would do that swimmingly.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And that way they don't have to do the work, do they? It's just the community do it. We've got the best toy box artists in the world on Disney Infinity fans, so why would leave the devs alone?
Hell yeah, let Papa Ewok take over, right?
That's right.
And I don't know if saying YouTube. There actually is a Death Star trench run. People aren't this isn't stopping people from making Star Wars toy boxes. People are already starting to do this. I've seen there's a Death Star trench run that somebody's made in regular Infinity right now. There's a video online. But yeah, people can make whatever the heck they want in the current Disney Infinity. I think when Disney Infinity 2 comes out, I think it'll have different franchises, and I think there will be more and more playsets. This first version was testing the water. They know what works and what people want, and I think there'll be a lot more characters and playsets in the next version, and yeah, and maybe even if they want to make it so that if you want to update and get more and more playsets after that, it might be downloadable. But I definitely think next go around we'll see more playsets.
Yep. Awesome, guys. This has been a great discussion. Let's bring it around to some vehicle talk. What types of vehicles would we like to see? I know a few of the cast members have written a few, but I'm going to give props to Putz for a Star Tours speeder. That's an awesome idea, and that's a way to bring the Star Wars and the parks into Infinity a little bit more. You guys like that idea?
I think that's the perfect idea. I think that's the best one. Sort of the clear answer. They really like going with the parks thing, too. I personally would love to see pod racers because I really like that part of the film and the storytelling. But that's the better one to do, is definitely the Star Tours.
Well, and we can't forget, Luke brought up, general TIE fighters, X-Wings, TIE Interceptors.
How would they look though? Would you be happy with it? Let's say a Millennium Falcon, for instance. Would you be happy for like a Sully figure to sit on top of a miniature Millennium Falcon and like one of the Star Destroyers or whatever? Would you be happy to have the miniaturized versions of those vehicles that they can sit on top of and ride? Would you prefer to have a bigger scale vehicle? Some of them make sense, like Luke's speeder. Like that makes sense to have in a smaller capacity that you've got this bigger fitty sitting in. But would you be happy to have a Millennium Falcon that feels so toy-like in that context?
I'm fine with the mini ones because if I want the big ones, then I will get the big one. I'll buy Battlefront Star Wars as well, which will probably be out around the same time as this other game. People can buy both. If they want a Star Wars game they can play with their kids, they'll get Star Wars Infinity or Disney Infinity Star Wars version, and then they'll play Battlefront with their friends. And I think there's room for both.
I think that if you're looking at the figures like this, a speeder would be similar to a bike. If you're going to put it in size in the game, a speeder would be bike-sized. I think an X-Wing / TIE Fighter would be more like a Dumbo. Something slightly larger, like a car kind of thing that you're in. You can still control it. And I'd be okay with it being Sully sitting in an X-Wing or a TIE Fighter that's similar to the Dumbo's size. When you talk about Millennium Falcon, though, that's different because the Millennium Falcon to me seems more like the pirate ship, something much larger. Because you're just imagine the camera angle when he jumps in. You're gonna have a massive zoom just so that you can see the ship, and I see that as way more similar to a pirate ship, and maybe something that you would use in a platform to get around from place to place. I think the Falcon needs to stay out because it is so large. I think that the other ones, the TIE Fighters, the X-Wings, the Speeders, the Pod Racers, all those other smaller ones fit perfectly, especially in the toy box. I think they're great pieces that you could use. But I think that the Falcon is a little too large.
I completely agree with that. I feel like if we're using Disney Infinity 1 as a model, we can kind of have our cake and eat it too. It's just the pirate ship or the Millennium Falcon may or may not be in the toy box. But I got to say, my absolute favorite, Poppet Ewok from the chat room, is saying the Tauntaun mount could be nice for those who are missing their 27 horses.
Yes, that's hilarious. Do you want me to go wake up Lila? She'll do it for you right now.
Oh, that's up to you. You did a pretty good job.
Thanks. I do what I can.
That was epic.
Yeah, 27 horses in one Tauntaun. That'd be great.
That would be a cool figure, though.
The Slave 1 vehicle, but that which is Boba Fett and Jango Fett's vehicle, but that one as well is kind of big, so they would have to scale it down pretty much.
Well, and you could even have them both too. You could have them in the game, in the playsets. They could be like the pirate ship, and they could be large vehicles used in different ways. And then you could even have kind of miniaturized unlocked versions in the toy box. Kind of that caricature version where you're sitting like on top of the Millennium Falcon as a character.
You could do that. I think that would look sort of cheesy, but you could get away with that. I also think that they could pass or get a pass on the sky, the dome, with just seeing them in the background, sort of shooting and fighting and then zipping through. You could see them. We've seen that in Nightmare Before Christmas. You see Zero flying by. They can do amazing detail that moves in the background. And if you had a small star battle going on, or if you saw X-Wings fighting TIE Fighters or Millennium Falcon flying around, I think that would sort of do the trick. And if you left the bigger ones out, clearly people are going to want to play it, but I think that would do the trick.
Yeah, that's a great way of implementing that. Jason, is everything okay at your house?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's totally
going on?
I think my kids have broken loose from their cage, and now
They have absolutely taken over the show.
I thought that was coming from Will's house. I didn't know it was that.
No, that is yep.
Just
That
back
is
from his honeymoon.
three children running wild.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Oh.
It happens.
Awesome.
Speaking of children, I do have a thought about children just then. We briefly discussed on it, but do you think Disney... I don't know, I honestly can't make a call on this. We saw what happened with Frozen. Frozen blew up to be the highest grossing animated film of all time, right?
Yep.
Clearly, they made the wrong call, and there should have been a Frozen playset on Disney Infinity 1. So do you think they make that same mistake and focus on the original trilogy, or do they go ahead and launch with the brand new trilogy that they're making? Because clearly if that's going to be half as good as what the remake of the Star Trek film was, you've got to assume that it's going to be better than the latest efforts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's a tough business call to make, because you've got to plan ahead. If the new Star Wars films blow up to be as big a thing, and that's why I mentioned kids, because if you ask most young kids today, they would probably say that the newer ones they like better because the old ones feel so old now.
Dated, and they saw the newer ones in the theaters, and that's something that I think really strikes them big, is they saw them in the theaters, they saw them in the re-releases, and all that other stuff, and I think that strikes true. I think you have to be smart, and you have to look at what they're actively doing right now. Mm-hmm. There are some scenes in films of all time that will go down in history as memorable for any age. I think that Hoth and Tatooine, just the way that they look and the characters and the visuals, will never be duplicated. People will see them. And I think you can implement those into a play set. Now, this is me being sort of bitter. You play this stupid, I really dislike the Toy Story game. I really do. I hate it. I think it was a really bad design, and I don't like how it worked. But if you look at it, one level you're out on that glass thing, then you go into the next level and you're in caves and you're doing all that stuff. You could really do it, like you're saying, Jason, where you implement the new one, yet still appeasing the old people, and not old people, but the old school Star Wars world, and implementing both. You don't have to make it so huge. You can do both.
Hope
I
so.
think that they will.
I see them release them both at the same time, doing a play set of old school and a play set of new school. And we don't know anything about the plot of the new movies, but today they announced Chewbacca is going to be in the new one. And we know that Mark Hamill and probably Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. I think the old school people will be back as well, and maybe their kids are involved. We don't know what the story's going to be, but there's always a chance of bringing the old school originals back as toy box pack only, or just to play with the different types of power disc and put them in different worlds.
Yep.
Yeah, and I do like your idea, Steve, is that if they did just go the new route, though, it's easy to pay homage to the originals. And but I don't know. I mean, I think Pirate and Jason, you guys are mentioning two interesting thoughts to this. They absolutely have to focus on the new movie, period. Even if it flops in the traditional sense, it's not going to flop like the Lone Ranger flopped with the playset.
In no way will that happen. That is completely true. Well, that's exactly right, and you've got a plan for that. I think that you said it right, Jason. This was a massive failure on the foresight of seeing how popular Frozen was going to be, at the same time about how big of a flop. Now, Steve, I think you said it a little while ago, too. No one could have foreseen it, and the timing of it didn't work out. The timing of the release worked out perfectly with the release of the Lone Ranger. So that was sort of perfect for the way that it was. This, though, they have enough foresight to know what's going on, and I think that they can plan a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney didn't know Frozen was going to be the biggest of all time movie, but originally when they announced Infinity, I thought that they were going to synergy and market every single film that they were coming out with. It would have a Disney Infinity figure at the time the movie was launched. With the company in Power Disc, like I originally thought there was going to be a Maleficent figure when the Angelina Jolie Maleficent came out, and when the movie Planes came out, I thought it would be Planes characters, and whatever Disney film, Marvel, Star Wars film was coming out, I thought they would have characters, playsets, at least a toy box character from that movie. Another big miss is Captain America is the hottest movie out right now. Broke the April record, and it's going to continuously be. I think grow to Avengers, not as much as Avengers, but it's very popular. And I'm sure every kid right now wants to play a Captain America in Disney Infinity. It seems like from different concept art pictures we've seen over the months that a Captain America one was probably discussed and could have been released, but maybe they're holding it off for Disney Infinity too.
Do you guys feel like something's lacking in this show that maybe the host should have covered earlier on? If this was the Outside Infinity Star Wars episode, I think we'd be hearing something like this. Right? Should this not have been playing throughout the intro?
That's the outro music for sure.
Take notes, Will. This is how you host a show, baby.
Only if you conduct.
I will conduct any day of the week, man. You can take notes.
I'm taking notes. I'm sorry you didn't like my Disney park throwback.
I did like it. Sorry.
No one. Obviously, your opinion is flawed, so no one takes it seriously.
No one has ever taken me seriously my whole life. That's why I'm in the situation I'm in.
Oh my gosh. Well, folks, what else? What else do we have before we kind of end things?
I feel like we really dissected like some really deep parts of the game, more so than we usually do, and I like this episode. I think that if the Disney people are listening, as I drop stuff, that this is actually a sort of an interesting show. we talked a lot about marketing and just about sales in general, right? I mean, we all sort of agree that they need to focus on big things, yet also make sure they pay attention to the small things. And Steve is over here laughing with his hat in the side, and really just the whole show just distracting everybody. This has been a great show.
Yeah, I agree. I like that the conversation, even though it was focused on Star Wars, talking about Star Wars gave us the opportunity to look at Infinity in a different way than we have in the past, and it's probably going to be very similar to the way we look at the Marvel Infinity when we get to that topic on the show.
And I honestly think that's the biggest topic, is the Star Wars versus Marvel, because I guarantee you it's a 50-50 battle. 50% of the people think that it's better to have Marvel, and 50% think that it's better to have Star Wars. And I think it's a fascinating thing that Disney's in control of both, and they can literally do anything that they want. And I cannot wait to see what they do next. I don't think they've really made a big mistake yet. Disney is flawless in my opinion, and I just can't wait to see what they do. Just because it's such a big deal. Who gets to play with Star Wars and Marvel and just get to choose what they do? It's phenomenal. And no matter what, the Infinity fans are going to be winners. It's just interesting to see how they do it.
Agreed. Pirate, you're waving your hand or raising your hand.
Yeah, I had a good
Sorry.
discussion we could bring up. We were talking previously about we got off topic and we're talking about princesses. About how Disney Infinity at the beginning was a little girl or female less with their characters, and the diversity characters most were male dominant figures. And then, I mean, at the beginning there were so many people complaining that on the Facebook and all the other sites that there was not enough female power in the game. They weren't going to buy Infinity. Infinity's going to bomb because they don't have enough princesses, and what are little girls supposed to play with? Well, Star Wars, I mean, I can only name like maybe 4 females in all the Star Wars universe. I wonder what, maybe it's a little different for Star Wars and maybe the Marvel, but I wonder if parents are going to boycott because there's not enough Star Wars females to play in the game.
Oh, I think that's a great point. I think that's something that they should be aware of, and even if that means trying to not keep it too one-sided. So if there's, I'm not saying they should do this, but it could be a way they could handle this. If there's 4, but you also have to think about the canon of Star Wars too. We don't know what the new movies, what type of female characters are going to be included in that as well, but. That's a good point, Steve. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe they keep it if there's 4 prominent female Star Wars characters. They keep 4 male characters. But I don't know. Here's the thing, though. Even if there are fewer, as long as they market it just as much, then hopefully it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I like your idea of. I think it was your idea of the double pack that included a male and a female Star Wars figure, but then when those singular individual figures are released, as long as there's just as much fanfare and promotion, because there's been a ton of promotion for the girl figures that have been released so far. So I think, I don't know what the answer is, but I do think they understand that concern and that desire to have lots of girl figures as well as guy figures.
That's what I don't understand. We've all heard all the layoffs that Disney Interactive have had over the last 6 months or whatever, and I don't understand. Like, you think Disney Infinity is a bona fide success. They know that Star Wars is going to be a success. Doesn't even matter how bad it is. It's going to be a success. It's going to at the very least make its money back. And wouldn't you be staffing up? Because I said, I personally would rather have the Robin Hood playset, classic Disney Robin Hood playset, any day over any Star Wars playset. So I'm going to be annoyed as a parent with 3 girls if I'm not getting princess playsets down the track because they're focusing all their attention on Star Wars or Marvel. But yeah, I don't understand why that you wouldn't have like 3 teams going, on each of these titles separately and just I mean, as we've said, it's a total cash cow, particularly because they own the licenses anyway. I mean, they could do a timed exclusive. The only Star Wars figures you can get from day one are Infinity Star Wars figures anyway.
Yes.
So,
No.
what's-
I've left the chat room.
I think it's a good point. I have to stop you because there's some good chat going on in the chat room. Papa Ewok said something. Were we leaving out Indiana Jones? I mean, how cool would it be to have like an Indiana Jones Han Solo mashup inside the Infinity game? I think that would be outstanding.
That would be fantastic.
Kind of like they do with Jack Sparrow and
Tonto.
Tonto. I mean, you can throw like 3 or 4 more Disney characters that Johnny Depp has worked with.
Yeah. Mad Hatter.
All-out brawl.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Jason, you have a really good point too. That's the thing that's interesting. Do you think that they're going to alienate that market?
which market?
The market that you're just talking about, the classic and the more traditional style Pixar.
Well, that's all I'm saying.
all
If
of
they've
that
only
stuff is-
if they've only got a small team, they can only do so much work. We know that the figures take forever to produce, as far as like from design to construction to like packaging and stuff like that. So, and it's been relative. I mean, it's been a steady trickle, but slow when you consider how many characters there are in the Disney universe. And then you go and add on the countless characters that are in the Star Wars universe, and then the insane amount of characters in the Marvel universe. Like, we'll be all dead and gone before they can get any sort of decent volume of these characters out into the market. And as I said, I think that it's such a varied audience now with the Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney stuff that how can you please everyone at once other than releasing everything at once?
So, Steve, let me say this, because this is how I think that my final verdict is I would love to see a Disney Infinity whole release of just Star Wars. But knowing the marketing and knowing the people that you got to reach, I would really like a sort of combined thing. And if you did a DI2 and you had a playset that came with its own characters, sort of like the Toy Story one, or the Incredibles one. The Incredibles one is my favorite because there are so many characters that you can play. If you had something like that and they made it similar to the world of Toy Story, that there is a clear difference, or Pirates, actually. Pirates is another good one because you clearly go through 3 different worlds. If you did it and planned it out really well, you could still do a Disney Infinity game with a Star Wars playset without alienating other classic sort of brands. You could do it really well without taking over the manpower or dominating the production costs. If you made half of the game or a third of the game like you did Pirates. And I think that playing them, Pirates is the most vast and graphically detailed of the original 3. Do you guys agree? I mean, I think that the Incredibles one is the most simple. Everything is just the city, and that's pretty much it. And then MU's a little different, but if you did it like that and you brought out 6 characters or 4 characters, Star Wars, I think you'd appease a large group, and then you still have 2 other playsets you can play with. You could even do a Marvel one and a traditional one. And I think that would sort of blend the worlds. I originally wanted a whole game, but I realized that you're going to be alienating a lot of people that may do more damage than good.
I think you've just nailed the perfect starter set. That's it. You just have a Marvel character, a Disney princess, and a Star Wars character in the starter set with 3 different play sets for those franchises, and that's the branching point. It's like you can choose, I'm going to continue to expand the Star Wars on the play set, I'm going to choose to expand the princess. That's perfect marketing right there. It sells what it is. It's like this is all 3 of our major brands in the one game. You can expand and play with whichever of these play sets you want. Perfect.
Can I also point out that it's the greatest bullying tactic ever? It's Disney just saying, look at what we own. We own all of this. You guys don't own anything compared to what we just did. I mean, it's so cool to see that one company controls that amount of stuff. So I agree.
That's
I think
awesome.
that would be great. That's my closing thought. I changed my mind.
Jason, to go back to those layoffs, I think that, because that's something we haven't really talked about too much on the show, but I actually think that was Disney Interactive focusing. This was the first profitable year Disney Interactive has had in a long time. Could be ever, I'm not sure, but I know for a very long time, and you can contribute almost all of that, if not all of that, to Disney Infinity. And so I think that is them kind of, not to sound so callous, because it's horrible that so many people lost their jobs. Over 700 employees at Disney Interactive lost their jobs, and that's really bad. But this was, I think, them focusing on what is working and instead of what wasn't working. So who knows what resources are being thrown at Disney Infinity now, but going back on that previous discussion, I don't think limitations that existed, not from a technical standpoint, but from a resource standpoint for Disney Infinity 1, are currently being experienced or will be experienced for whatever is after Disney Infinity 2 or after Star Wars Infinity or after Marvel Infinity.
Well, it's hard to imagine. It'd be a colossal mistake, wouldn't it? I mean, as I said, it's a success. There's no reason not to completely, take the foot off the brakes now. I mean, not to the stupid extent. I don't expect them to release, 15, 20 different play sets on day one, but you'd think they would be, tracking the data and certainly be very interested when trailers are eventually hit for the new Star Wars films, getting a sense of the excitement around them, and then hopefully, as Pirate Steve said, I hope that they can get to that point where we are getting a Maleficent figure at the time of Maleficent's release and be a bit more forward-thinking in that context, because that's really exciting. Because as a collector, I love the idea that you can, have a second use for your collectibles.
Yeah.
You buy the figure, you go see the movie in the same day. I mean,
absolutely.
That was how we did it with Frozen. That is literally how we did it with Frozen.
I love that idea, and even as someone who was already concerned with the amount of collectibles, I would love, like you said, Steve. See, I just watched Captain America, and I would give anything to have a Captain America shield in Disney Infinity right now, or a figure. So
yeah, just throw it in with your popcorn combo.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Real quick, can I direct you guys noticing what the hell is going on in the chat? They've turned this into the Lost chat room. How do you go from Star Wars to Lost? For the past 10 minutes, it's only been about Lost. Lost is not only not Disney, it has nothing to do with what's going on, but now everyone's embracing it. It's really great.
It's ABC. It's ABC, so it's kind of owned by Disney.
I guess you're kind of right, yeah.
It's true.
All right, well, there you go.
We're not going to buy a Lost playset. Or are we?
Or at the very least, let's go for let's put textures and stuff on popcorn combo RFID chips in the cup, so you can bring home your popcorn combo and scan it and get a texture from Maleficent or something.
Oh, that's a freaking great idea.
Would you like to supersize with a power disc? Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
so that $20 bucket of popcorn now turned into a $30 bucket of popcorn.
And you know
Take
who's
my
going to
money.
pay for it? This guy and you,
Yeah.
right, Will?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, they were originally supposed to. I mean, they're kind of doing it with the WalMarts that when Monsters University came out, they packaged it with a Monsters University figure, and same thing with when Frozen came on Blu-ray. You could get Elsa or Anna packaged with your Blu-ray. I thought they would do more. It sounded like originally they were going to do more of that. So I'm expecting it when Disney Infinity 2 comes out. I'm expecting my kids to drag me and pick out specific cereal boxes, because that's the cereal box that has the power disc in it.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were going to do
money. Just print the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Take it.
That's it.
All right, gents. Well, I think this was a great Star Wars episode. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of getting back on the horse. Steve C. Thanks, buddy.
There you go.
That was perfect timing.
I give you your horse noise.
Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Really missed you, and I didn't get to hang out with you in Disney World, so great to see you back on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, and congratulations on your wedding. You did a great job. Good job.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that. Darth Steve. Thank you for joining the show tonight.
He's not reading my text.
I'm sorry that derailed some of the conversations, but it was a good reunion because we haven't been all together in a while. So
It is.
Yeah,
It was a team effort. I feel like we worked together to completely disable this show.
We'll get back to normal next show maybe.
Yeah, that's par for the course. That's what makes the show entertaining.
Yeah, Will's writing down right now. To get back on course, stop inviting the Steves.
The two Steves.
Yes, and now he's back again.
Jason, Captain Haynes. I love how you're it looks like you're hunched over for some reason. I know you're not, but it looks like you are hunched over. Did you have fun tonight? I think tonight was a good discussion.
Yeah, it's been good. I saw a two-week break, so all refreshed and the visual effects are back on. What can I say? It's good times.
It's amazing. We disliked that ugly green background you had there for a little while.
Yeah, well, technical difficulties, people. The Enterprise doesn't always work.
Awesome. And everyone in the chat room, thank you so much for joining. It's Time Chicken, Latin Soul, Outside Infinity Binks. I should not be thanking that person. Papa Ewok, Putz 2000, and Travis, sorry we missed you. But everyone who contributed tonight in the chat room, thank you so much for doing so. If you want to come and watch us and chat live with us, you can do that every week at InsideDisneyInfinity.com. If you want to write into the show, please feel free to do that. Just email info@InsideDisneyInfinity.com. And if you want to find out who all of our friends are, just check out the sidebar on the site, and we have lots of good friends there. VGPodcast.com, Pixar Post, Infinity and Beyond, and Infinity Fans. So check them out. We all link to them. Make sure you check out Jason's awesome Toy Box reviews every week. He does them right before the show starts. He does them live, and you can find them at youtube.com/InsideInfinityTV. So that's going to be it for tonight, gentlemen. Again, thank you all so very much. This was a lot of fun and lots of great discussions. I like how it was Star Wars focused, but we actually talked about a lot of things we normally don't get to talk about. So
yeah, mostly because you've been scaring us not to talk about it until this show, so I like that.
It's funny, and I know we've discussed bits and pieces of Star Wars, but I don't know if we even touched on any of those because I can't remember what they were now.
No, because you intimidate us. Every time we start, you're like, save it for the Star Wars show.
Yes, or I'm going to have Captain Haynes take care of business.
Captain Haynes on the bridge.
I love it. I love it. Pirate, what's going on over there? Are you causing more shenanigans in the chat room?
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you if you posted the link to Jason's Star Trek video logs.
I don't know what I found, but I'm going to post it. Hey, this is a call to the internet. I'm posting what I did find to see if we can trace this back to Jason. All I know is I found a Google group from 1995 with someone posting by the name of Jason Haynes saying, talking about a flattened QuickTime movie, and that's great, but having the movie in segments would be very helpful for those Voyager fans in the great southern lands.
I don't think that's me.
It is you, Jason. Stop
having
your alter ego. What? Yes, it is.
The great southern land has to be a reference to Australia.
Well, there's a few Jason Hayneses around. It's not me.
No.
My film is VHS only and extremely rare. I'll get you a signed copy.
It is so distracting watching his head move and that group of still heads. It's so weird. His is like bobbing and like talking, and then all the rest of them are sitting there like, look at him. All right,
they're all very serious.
They are.
Well, I like when a hand will appear by his neck. It is too.
Yes, I saw that too.
Jason, if you are proud of your accomplishments on the bridge, raise your hand.
This is awkward.
Oh man! All right, guys, this was a lot of fun. Thanks everyone in the chat room again. Make sure you check us out next week. Keep your eyes and ears tuned to the show because we do have some fun new announcements coming out in the very, very near future, and we still have the Marvel episode coming up around Comic-Con. So stay tuned, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening.
Welcome, Star Tours. I trust our colleague is safe?
Safe? Have you any idea what we've been through?
We're on your deck, Captain.
Captain, glad to be of service. Well, we're all in the Rebel Alliance now, so may the Force be with us. And thank you for flying Star Tours.
Welcome, Star Tours.
All right, guys, and we are out.
I want,
No,
dude,
we're
that
still
closing-
live.
Oh, that closing is awesome. I want to listen to it on the computer.
You,
That was really
you
cool.
can.
Welcome, Star Tours. I trust our colleague is safe?
Safe? Have you any idea what we've been through?
Dude, that's a really good closing.
Yeah, the first one, it didn't play at the beginning for some reason, so it was the introduction to Star Tours.
The intro was really funny because it was just for the longest time, for like 10, 15 seconds, it was just Steve C's face. Just,
What happened to me? What happened to my face? What was I doing?
you gotta watch the first like 30 seconds of the show where it's just you staring.
I'm looking it up right now.
No,
Oh, no.
What is wrong with me? What did I do?
No, it wasn't. It was actually just like 30 seconds of just the logo.
Did I pause? Did
From-
something weird happen?
No, it was text.
Oh, I was okay. I got you. Thanks for pointing out that, and while we're still live, right? Thanks.
Yeah, we're still live, so.
I love the after show. The after show is such a mess.
That's sometimes where the best part happens. Yes, Travis, we did include the logo. Thank you for that. It was awesome.
Yeah, can I say, hey Travis, where the hell were you, man? Where's the dedication to the team?
Yeah, Travis, I even printed your logo out and made a T-shirt for the show.
It looked like he was having some storm. I like how instantly, like, we roll the outro and our viewership declines, like by half almost instantly.
Do they really? Do they just go away? Hey, how great
Yeah,
is
but
that?
half is like 5 people, so I mean it's not a whole lot.
Aw. Hey, I'm gonna be for real. So I heard about your show like what, a year ago, and through another show. I guarantee you that freaking Ricky Briganti heard Outside Infinity just from the thing because he plays the game and he stole the title. There's no way that brilliant guy stole the title. There's no way. He took it, dude.
I feel like it could because I may have borrowed his title for the idea of Inside Infinity.
Oh my God! I just realized that you did, you thief. Oh, Ricky.
So you heard it here first. First, Ferks. First.
You got it.
Yeah, I agree. I texted Steve C this morning. I don't know if you guys saw that. Ricky Briganti from Inside the Magic started a blog called Outside the Magic, and yeah. What's up? Did Steve C and Pirate? Did you waste all your material talking?
Oh my God!
Outside of the show via
we
chat.
kind of did. For like 10 minutes there, he was making stupid noises with his chair, and he would text me that he wasn't farting, it was his chair, and then I couldn't even remotely. See, he did it again just now. I just heard it. I can't even focus on the show because I kept hearing that stupid noise.
So, Steve C, would this be a good time for me to mention the fact that you asked us a question about something we had discussed maybe 30 minutes prior, but it was during your laughing fest?
No, don't bring that up. Just kill the show right now. I'm going off on this bit that I'm a professional here.
Bring it up.
I don't remember what it was, and I know you won't either, Pirate, because while you were cracking him up, you were also cracking up, so I think you missed it.
What I learned halfway through the show is if I put like a something I have on my desk in front of Steve C's picture, I won't see him laughing. And that helps me from not contagiously laughing myself. So
I'm laughing the whole stupid show, looking at you on the bottom. You know, every once in a while you'll be looking to the side, and then all of a sudden you start cracking up, and I'm like, oh no, what's happening? What I missed?
The after show still's going on, Latin Soul. Yeah, was it you, Steve, that realized like 3/4 of the way through a show that you can see in the lower left-hand corners, or was that someone else?
Well, I thought that it was just us, that you could see us in the bottom right here, and then I looked over the screen and I'm like, oh my God, you can see all 4 of our squares in the bottom of this. So I immediately stopped picking my face and looking like a complete tool, or at least trying to.
Oh man, that was fun. God, that was rough at the beginning, and I don't blame any of you. I definitely blame. It was tough getting back on that horse. I'm like, wait, we're recording live?
I didn't
The
feel
internet?
it was rough at all. I thought the intro was great, actually.
Oh well, thank you for that.
You mean going over the news and stuff?
No, I think it was I meant the 25 minutes before show start where we didn't mention Infinity once, other than the name.
Yeah. Yep. Good job.
All right, folks. Well, I'm going to end the live show.
Sounds good.
Host, you guys hold on just a moment. So thank you all again for listening to the show, and I hope you enjoyed a little bit of the after show. We look forward to seeing you all next week. Same time, same channel.